Hey guys, and welcome to Wizard Warfare 2 Cephalopod Wars with me, Time and Tactics. Psyanotek, the makers of the game, gave me a Steam key. Let's check it out. This is the second iteration of Wizard Warfare. The first iteration came out quite a few years, well, about 5 years ago maybe? Let's see what has changed between that iteration and this iteration. The game, if you think about it, is a cross between Dominions 5 or 6, and I would say it's like Civ 6, maybe, and some Master of Magic in there as well. It's pretty deep. There's a lot to do in this game. Some of the options are not yet available, by the way, so if you do get the game, there's a few things they're still working on. And, well, I'll say we just go ahead and start up a new game. We have a few things we can select from here, as you can see. I'm going to keep most of them on the default, so we get kind of like a default experience. But I do want to change a few things, I think. Instead of having average starting wealth, let's go with poor. We'll start from the beginning. And our starting city will be primitive. I'll keep the research speed on normal. When I play, by myself, I sometimes go down in any game. I mean, not just this game. I go down to slow research speed so you have more time in between getting new things. But I think maybe we'll go with normal research speed for this playthrough. I think I'll keep everything else the same. You can see here what you can do. There's quite a few things. And there are tooltips in quite a few places in the game, which is excellent. There's a few missing, and I'm sure they're working on that because that is extremely helpful. We're going to play against 4 AI enemies. The difficulty, I'm going to leave it on normal. There's going to be a normal amount of neutral cities. We're going to have layers. Yeah, you can see here what's going to happen. Medium neutral difficulty. I think that's fine. We're not going to be known as that. We're going to be TNT. And then the wizard path. Well, this is like Master Magic. But also like Dominions. We're going to pick... What do I pick here? Holy... And I have dabbled in this game. I've opened it up, played a little bit, but not that much. So Holy, I imagine we're going to get a little bit of a few buffs maybe. Healing, things like that. I think I might want to do that. Go with Holy for now. Otherwise, nature might be good too. Well, let's go with Holy, and we'll see what that means in the game. Start the game. And it creates the whole world here. What you're looking at here, I think, is a representation of what they went through to create the world and different aspects of the world. So here we can see coast, ocean. I think green is land masses. Blue would be water. So we can kind of get an idea here already where we're going to have... there's going to be one continent over here, one over there, one over there. That looks pretty good to me. I don't see... Before I saw a screen that represented the cities. Not this one. They have initial tile city score. There was another one that actually showed you, in a rough way, where the opponent's cities were. We don't get to see that here, so I don't get that benefit, or that cheat, if you like. So we'll go with this. But now we know we have 3 continents. One in south, one in west, one in north. It looks like we might, I don't know if we can travel through there. But anyway, I think we can go ahead and jump into the game. So if you haven't seen the game before, it is a 4X game, kind of like Civ. You move around on the map, you look at your resources that you have around your city, build more cities, trade, find the enemy, attack them. But it's also like Dominions 5 and 6 in that there is an auto battler built into the game. So while we have units, you can see our units here that we start off with. We have a swordsman here, we have a bowman, scout, and a monk. Those units, we can tell them, give them general commands. So if I select our capital garrison here, there are 2 units there, and select this one here, battle setup, I can tell them, well, for the swordsman, you're going to charge. You're going to be at this distance, melee distance. I think there are 4 distances here. Vanguard, melee, range, and there's another one. I think even further back, a caster. We don't have one here. You're going to be in the center of the battle screen once a battle, happens. And you're going to do it right away. Charge right away. That's what that means. I could delay it as well. We'll look at more at that maybe when we get into a fight. But I want to bring it up now because that's pretty cool. I like that a lot. It makes it it adds a dimension to the game that is not otherwise there. Anyway, so what are we looking at here? I don't intend to give a full tutorial here, but if you have played a 4X game, you kind of get the idea, I think. Here's our capital, TNT. If I select that capital, the name, the title, the label. Then we can actually get a view of the capital. Think Civ 6, right? Here's the name of the capital, TNT Capital. Now I'm going to rename it. Oh, I'm going to rename it. Why not Linford? Let's do that. In the capital, we have 3 in population. We are working these tiles here, some of them, not all of them. Capital, by the way, it's very small when we get started here. Remember, we selected a very small, primitive start. You can tell which tiles we're working on here because they're larger here. So this one with the horse we're working on, this one, but not this one here. And you can tell also from the left side here what we have told the city to do. We said default. So make sure we have enough food, then maximize total resource income. If I wanted to, I could say, let's get production instead. And now we're jumping around a little bit here, and we're getting more production. Anyway, we'll get into this screen a little bit later, but that's our city. Escape to get out, I think, or yeah, escape. There. So now we're looking at the world map. You can see it down here. And we have 3, remember we had 3 of those continents, one west, one east, and one south. Are we in the south or east? Probably east. Well, we have to see what happens. Okay, so we're sitting here with our city. Right now, what you're looking at is a very small area of the map, obviously. But once the city grows, this yellow and white border will expand. So population 5, we're at 3 right now, we will expand this out by 1 more. So we're going to cover all these here as well. And then when we get to 10, we'll go 1 more out. So this entire screen will be part of our city. Okay? So what I want to do now, I want to think about what do we actually do to expand and take out our 4, was it 4 enemies? I think it is. Well, we know we have Linford here with a population of 3. They can't do much yet. Going back into the city, we can see that we have 3 buildings built already. We have the Wizard's Tower, which, by the way, with the capital city, you do get a free specialization here. Magical, always specialization here. So, we get mana and research increase because of that. But we have 3 buildings here, and they will provide different benefits. And that might be a good time to look at the different resources in the game. This screen here, by the way, is one of the few screens that don't have any tooltip. I think they said they're working on that, because that would be very helpful here. But anyway, what we're looking at here is food, raw materials, manufacturing, gold, mana, and research. 3 of those are global, meaning we share them between cities. And there are these 3 up here, gold, mana, and research. So the bottom 3 here, whatever you earn in your cities gets pooled, the mana and research as well. The other 3, food, raw materials, and manufacturing, don't. You use them in the city where they are produced. And the one that is a little bit tricky maybe here is manufacturing. Well, I would say raw materials and manufacturing. Raw materials, which is this symbol here, is what you see on the map here. So the more you have, the better it is, because that will feed into your manufacturing. So if you don't have enough raw materials, you cannot use all of your manufacturing, the blue. And the blue, the manufacturing, is what you actually want. That's what you want to use here to build buildings and units in your city. Okay? So what we have right here, and the way I think it works is that we have a builder's guild over here producing 1. And you can see we have 6.5, right? We have 1 plus 2, that's 3, 4, 5. But then I think we get some kind of little boost from either from the capital city or from a city in general. So we end up with 6.5. And then raw materials. Remember I said it kind of feeds into manufacturing. It's not really that we are making 0.5 raw material gross. That's net, meaning after we use the raw material for our manufacturing, how much is left over, if anything? And it's 0.5. If we add these up, and we don't have anything here that generates that, we will see that we have probably 7 exactly. And if we do, yeah, I think we do actually 7. And that means we have 1 left over, not being used for anything. Doesn't accumulate. So you want to make sure these kind of go hand in hand. And the way we're going to do that is by getting our buildings going over here, producing raw materials, and manufacturing. I'm not an expert, but we'll see what we can do. Okay, so we said we had a Wizard's Tower. The Wizard's Tower is a tier 1. There are 3 tiers in the game, and this might be a good time to also highlight that the help system is going to be your friend, I think. Press F1. I have all these options here, but they are very useful to get an idea of how things work. I've been going back and forth here just to get an idea. But if we want to, we can go to the buildings here and get more information. Remember up here we have the Wizard's Tower. And this screen is alphabetical, which I'm very grateful for. Wizard's Tower is here. If I select that, you can see that's a tier 1 special. A Wizard Tower is where the ruling wizard resides, so I guess that means you get that automatically in your capital city, right? So we're gaining 3 gold, 3 mana, 3 research from that. And in the case of a siege, we have 3 Archmage units there. And we can select them here and look at them there. Okay, so that is the Wizard's Tower. And by the way, remember I mentioned the magical specialization here? Yeah. It shows up there. Later on, as the city grows to the next level, we can then have another specialization. You start with 1 here. I think on level 2, you normally, if you settle a new city, you don't have any specialization level 1, but you have 1 on level 2 and another one level 3. So when we get to level 3, I'm thinking, if I'm correct, you're going to get another specialization we can choose from. They are in the manual, if I can find them. Yeah, here, city effects. Farming, financial, industrial. And by the way, if you look at these symbols here, and then we'll go to the buildings, these symbols on the right, they indicate what specialization you need in your city to set this up. So this one here is a tier 3. Our city needs to have 15 in population. No, 10 in population. We don't have that yet. But once you do, and you have that specialization, you can get an arcane jeweler. So something to keep in mind. I don't think it shows here. No, it doesn't. So you have to... It won't show up if you don't have the right specialization. Anyway, it threw me off at the beginning. That's something I think they're planning to maybe make more clear how that works. Anyway, so yeah, we have our city here. What do we have in our city? Well, we know we have the 3 buildings here. They provide various benefits. With the Wizard's Tower, we read about that. We can right-click for more information on it. We get a little bit of defense there, a little bit of production of different things. And then we have the Builders Guild, and that allows us to get more buildings. That's always good, right? It will cost us a little bit in upkeep, and we have our running total right up here. And then a granary. We can now build a farmer's market. And here's what I'm thinking. If we exit out of here, we know we have a couple of units. We haven't talked about them very much. What we call the garrison, it's not our militia. We can actually move them around, unlike the militia. We could take them and maybe send them out initially here. But you're playing on medium difficulty. I think we're probably safe to do that. We'll probably give that a shot. But what we're going to do for sure is take our scout. If I deselect, I'm just left clicking, and select the scout here. They have a 2 movement range there. And we can see up to 3 hexes away. Now, remember I showed you briefly the tile yield on the right-hand side. You can see here by selecting the 3rd button down how much it will cost for different types of units to move. And if you don't know what these symbols mean, again, we can go to F1, we can go to moves. Here they are. So aquatics, freshwater, saltwater, flying, land, naval, shallow, and wall. What we care about for our units, obviously at the beginning here, it's that boot. And it's going to be easier to go on these terrains. Open terrain kind of makes sense, right? So let's deselect that. If we want to settle another city, we want to find something that provides us a lot of good resources and overall can make us grow the city quicker. And they have a handy tool here, the Tile City Score. If I select that, nothing happens right now. That's because we're just looking at the area that will eventually be part of the city. We can't really settle here. Once I go outside that area, we're going to get a score. That's going to tell us if it's good or bad. It's going to give us an indication. So I think we'll take the scout here. And by the way, we're talking about 5 scouts here. In that, let's see, it says units 5. That means that if we have combat, there are actually 5 distinct units that can fight. We haven't looked at the actual stats, but if I select them here by right-clicking, we get the stats. And if you play Dominions, it's pretty similar to that. So there's everything from health, physical size. You can only have 10 physical size points, I think, in a square during combat. So they're going to be a little bit spread out. If you have more than, 3, which we have 5. They have armor. You can see all the different values here. We'll probably look at that later. They carry a dagger. Nothing too important, right? They're not going to be in combat. They can fire a short bow, though. They have a few resistances or immunities here, though. Like holy damage, completely ignored. So if we fight somebody that is doing holy damage, forget it. We're not going to take any damage. And then also they are completely resistant to dispel damage and also to rusted damage. It's a humanoid unit and they're survivalist. They get some bonuses in pretty much all terrain. And vision has increased by 1 as well. So that looks pretty good to me. We will take this unit. I've selected only this unit for now. And we'll take them and move them. Well, where do we move? Well, we're down here. We're not close to the edge of the map. I'd say we go maybe towards an area that's going to provide food. Because I'm thinking food is going to be helpful to grow cities quicker. And then you can worry about production, right? So if we do that, I'm thinking over here. That's what it looks like to me. There will be more open areas, fertile lands maybe. Right now that's fertile plains, and this is regular plains. So I'm going to disable that. And to move, you right click. You can see how far they can move by this blue border. Only 1 step this way. So that's not ideal. I think that's because of the river. If we select this option here, we can see there's a river there. So that's a river in this X, river here. They do provide bonuses for production, but when you're moving, not as good. But I think we'll go to the east here. So right click once and again. And as far as I can tell, you cannot give them order to move more than its allowable movement point. So I can't select over here. It's not available. That'd be nice to add. Which, by the way, I'm looking at Linford here, 3 in population, 10 more turns until we get a new population. I want to get to 5. Why 5? Well, remember I said this is the range we have right now of the city. If we go 1 more, we get all of these tiles as well that we can expand on. There's actually nothing super interesting there. If I enable this, yeah. But over here in the 3rd range, we do have more. What do we have over here? I'm looking in the bottom left corner down here. Mithril vein. If I press F1, see if I can find it. So specials. And this is also alphabetical, right. Mithril vein must be in mountains, that's fine. There are 2 extra resources there. And 2 production, Production, resources. Let me just double check that. Raw materials and manufacturing, not resources. Raw materials there. There are 2 there. If I go back in and we go to specials, mithril. Yeah, we can see we get 2 there. Improvement, we can put a mine on there. Now, remember in Civ, you have a worker. Civ 6, yeah. Same here. We can build workers. They can put buildings outside the city center and improve it even more. We also get mana. And then a mithril foundry as well, tier 3. Okay, yeah, it's going to be a while before we need that, right? Before we can use that. So that is good to have right here. We can get a mithril foundry. So we know we have that, but we don't need to do anything with that at the moment, I think. So let's get out of this screen. And we'll go back in here. And let's take a look at our caster and our garrison. The garrison, I think I want to split them up maybe. We'll take an eyeball. One can go north, one can go south. To split them up, you select one and drag it out. Like that. Okay, now we have 2 units here we can move. I'm going to move Company 106 here over to... Well, we'll go south. They have 2 movement points, both of them. But they're not nearly as good as the scout to move around. But we'll go down. Maybe we'll take them and move down here. Right click, you can see it's going to go this way. That's fine, then we'll go down here. Okay, more water. The garrison. Now, the way it works, if we go back into the city, you can see this number, this here, 0. That means there's no unrest in the city. I don't think you can have unrest until you get to population of 5. I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm thinking we can leave. We'll see. We'll leave with both units for now. I'm selecting them again. And we'll take our capital garrison, which I think, by the way, I can change. So I can change it to, instead of TNT, we'll change it to swordsman. Just like that. Okay, we're going to move up, I think, straight north. Yep, there they are. Now, that leaves us with a caster. We haven't talked about magic. Magic has mana here and research. Research, well, it's like Dominions on research. If I select that now, by going over here, I get the 3 different areas we can research. And that's conjuration, evocation, and enchantment, a path. Okay? If we do that, by selecting this button here, we're now starting to spend our research points, 3.1 in our case, and researching every turn until we get to the next level. In this case, we need 100. It's going to take us 33 turns if we just use what we have in the city. We can take the help of our casters here and help that out. Maybe we will. Which one do we pick? Well, this caster over here is a level 2 holy monk, which means he can use spells that requires 2 levels of holy magic. If you look at a conjuration here, we have level 0 right now. There's only 1 holy. Summon fanatics. We can summon a squad. Then that will cost us 15 mana. The pink research will enable us to get spells, and then the blue will enable us to actually cast the spells. So there's nothing here for a holy. Once we get down to this, level 2, battle healers and unicorns, that might be something. What about evocation? Alright, we can do lesser heal right now. Healing will cost us 20 mana. Okay, and we have, and by the way, this symbol here shows that it's during battle. It's a battle spell, so they will use it in battle. You can see we have 25 mana globally right now. In battle, they will have a pool that I think is independent of this 25 global mana. So it's not like we are going to be using that in combat. In fact, if I go back out, let's do that real quick and right click on this. Here, I think we should see, yeah, over here, mana. The total mana pool available to a caster unit in combat. I don't know if this is going to go down. I don't think it does, but we'll see in battle. Anyway, so we're going back into research. So if I go to level 1, actually there is 1 holy here under conjuration. Healers. Maybe. Evocation. Got a couple different options, but this one requires 2 paths. Water and holy. Lay on hands. Healing again. Heal is better, right? And then nothing else down here. Level 2. Enchantment, what do we have there? Look at that, level 1. And here we can see we also have a ritual. That's something we cast outside of battle, right on the world map. So here's a bless. We can bless a unit to do that. You need to be level 2, which we do have a level 2. I'm tempted to go down to enchantment. If I select that there, 33 turns will get that. It's a long time to do that, but we could maybe boost it by having our caster selected here, our monk. He has a research skill of 1. If I select him there now, there. And now we're making 4.1 instead of 3.1. So going back here, 25 turns. I mean, that's a long time, but let's do that. Let's set that up. Okay, on the right-hand side, we can see we have anything that we have to do, and this is a red circle around this one, this anvil. We have no production in our city right now. We've done, I think, everything else. So in our city, we can build, we said. And manufacturing here, 6.5. You know what, though? It's going to take us 10 turns to get another population. If we were to get another population, we could apply it here and get even more food. I'm thinking, well, or we can just switch and use it right now. And as soon as we get another population, in 6 turns now, we can put it here. I'm thinking I will do that instead. And what if we say foraging? We turn these now 5 points of manufacturing into more food. There. 5 turns. So it will cut it down there by 1. I think I'll do that. We'll see if that works. Okay, that is really all I want to do. And there's no more icons here, so we're good. Good to go. We're on turn 1. We can see what we have up here. We covered, I think, most things here. Okay, let's go to the next turn. And you can either press enter or you can go with the button there. Okay, so now it's turn number 2. Nothing really happened. That's good. That's good news. I'm going to just go ahead and move 1. Oh, okay. We must be on the southern continent and it's going to end up here maybe? We'll see. Now, here's something. These are pirates. If we select them by left-clicking, we can see there's 1 pirate sloop, 1 trireme. If I right-click on it, what is it going to have? There's going to be 30 pirates there on this pirate sloop. The ship itself, I guess, has 200. And it's very resistant. Yeah, we're going to have to... If we attack here, it's going to be naval combat, which I have not done. So that we're going to wait with that. So that looked like a lot of enemies there. So we'll keep an eye on them. But let's not do anything yet. Let's go ahead and press tab to select our next unit that we can move. I'm going to go back here. I think I'm going to go... Oh, wait a minute. Here, see this outline? Gray and black. That's a neutral city. So there's a neutral city right next to us. This might be a target for us. Let's head on up that way and see what they are about. And unfortunately, when you use the last move of unit, I wish it would just stay centered on that unit, but you saw it jump down here instead to the next one, which makes it, you know, you want to see, obviously, what happened to that unit, I think, anyway. So I think it would be better if it stayed here. Anyway, let's take our, well, Company 106. These are archers, right? So we're going to name them Archers 1. We'll just do a Archers number 1. Yeah, I like that. Just for fun. Okay, 2 movement points. Now, this terrain here, we can select this, and you can see it takes 2. We can only go 1. But I think I do want to go down here and get an eye on it. So let's do that. And it jumped up, but I want to see here. Ah, yeah, so there's more there. Okay. We'll go up north. There's ocean here. There's a river. We'll go up. We're going to send a scout maybe this way. So we'll go to the left here. Okay. There's more there. More ocean. Still nothing. That's good. 3 more turns. We get another unit. I mean, another population. Okay. Press tab. This unit, let's move down. Yeah, let's go down here. Let's not agonize over it too much. You can use WASD to move, or you can drag it, left click and drag. Okay. Now, it looks like here to me mountains are pretty bad. Raw materials there. Okay, if I move up here now to get an eye on them, I think I want to do that. Now, looking at the... Yeah, it takes 2 to move there. We can move up here though if we want to, all the way. Actually, let's go in here. I think they're neutral. They're neutral, so I don't think they're going to attack. So lane over here, population of 5. We cannot go in and look at them, but they have units here. 20 bowmen, and remember we have 10 swordsmen here. 40 swordsmen, and then on top of that they got militia. Not something we're going to take on right away. He has 1 worker here. Okay, 1 worker that we can get later. We could attack them now, but I don't think there's any need to. I think unlike Civ, you can't take over. You can battle these workers, but you can't take them. Okay, what is this terrain? Wetlands over here. If I want to know what that is about, I have to press F1. Terrain. Wetlands is over here. Yeah, they have it like a temperature and humidity concept in the game too. I think that affects combat mainly. Improving build time plus 50% if you were to use a worker, I think. Okay, and we might find these resources. We haven't, obviously, so they're not... Oh yeah, wait a minute. We do have mana pearls there. Okay. That's special here. Mana pearls does what? Extra mana, extra research, and that arcane jeweler. Okay. If we put a mine on there too, right? Yeah. Put a mine on there, we get even more. you get 2 mana and 1 research, but you can get 1 more of each. Okay, let's move up here. And this would be what? Shadow gems. I think I have to look at those too. Shadow gems here. Okay, 1 gold, 1 mana, 1 research. And a mine again. Yeah, if we could... Well, we can't expand that far out. So this level here, 1, 2, and 3. We get to this level, but not up there. Okay, we're done with that. We're done with all the units we can move. We are 3 turns away. I'm going to do end turn. And remember, when we get to population 5, we expand. So that's going to be helpful. Okay, tab again. I think I'll just continue. I'll go a little bit along the coast, I think, here. And I happen to double click there. Those 2 we could attack. I'm not going to do that. And we're sending this swordsman up. So I'm going to go down this way instead. There's a whale out there in the ocean. And by the way, there's the pirate again. If you don't have visibility, here you can see they're outside my visible range here. I can't see it. I don't know what's there, so they go away, basically. Not visible. We'll go up here. There, and end turn again. And I'm just foraging and making 1 more population here for now. But we're not going to do that for too long. And we'll head on... I think I'm head on this way. Oh, it just goes down like that. Okay, it goes on this way. This might be a spot we want to build in. Because we have plains here. We could put a farm on here, and I think you can convert it over to a... Is it with a farm? You can convert over to a fertile plain, which is better, obviously. We'll move down here. Nothing down there, right? Nope, nothing in particular. So there's the city. It's pretty big. It's level 2. You can see it goes out there. We'll go up here. More pirates. Well, we're not going to take them on. 160 oarsmen. 170 pirates. There's a pirate cove. But yeah, that's a little bit too much. Now we are 1 turn away. So if you go to end turn, let's take a look at Linford now. 4 in population. 13 more turns. I don't think I want to do foraging again. If we go to production now, we gain that 6.5. We could take 1, 2, 3, 4 population there. So if I were to one more population, we can expand. But let's do that without foraging. So we'll take that off. 23 turns. But now, unfortunately, we do have some unrest. 1. That's why we can't use everybody. We have 1, 2, 3 actually working. The one in the city don't count. So we can send a unit back home, or we can build another unit. If we build a spearman here, it takes 5 turns to do. And then we can put them there and let the other guys continue. Okay, so now, when it comes to combat, if we have walls here, I think we get a wall. If we build a wall, where is it at? Yeah, watchtower maybe? Well, if we have a city, I think in that city we're going to get a wall. And if we have a wall, it might be good to have slingers on there. We get spear militia, so maybe a slinger. And now it shows up here. It takes 1 turn. Why is that? Because I think our manufacturing that we did not use was added up in the meantime as we were doing foraging. So it's only 1 turn anyway. Didn't lose that much. So, here with the idle work unrest there, you can see. So we get that slinger. I think that's going to help, and that's going to be all we need to do. So that's fine. After that's done, let's see what we can build then. So I'm going to go ahead and hit, here's the thing. City grew in size. We'll do tab again. We'll go up along the coast here, I think. Okay, so maybe down here. Yeah, I think maybe. In fact, what we could do, I don't know if we can turn it on now. Yeah, we can. 70, 76, not fantastic numbers maybe. If we can get to 100, that's how suitable it is to put a city there. We'll take you and head on down here. What do we have down here? Dwarf hammerer 10 and a shotgunner. There's a dwarf village. Doesn't seem like much, but I think these are pretty strong. 15 in health. I think we are like 10. And by the way, you can see the weapons here. This is 18 damage. That's a lot. And it's a bash type of weapon, which I think then affects if you if you're fighting somebody with armor or not. You know, I think there might be 3 types of weapons: piercing, slash, and bash, right? Similar to Dominion 6. Okay, so bash can work against armor. If you have like a slash, it doesn't work as well against armor, if I remember correctly. So anyway, they have a lot of armor too. It's going to be hard to take out. And you can see resistances here. Yeah, immune to holy as well. Yep, got to be careful with that. We have one more unit that we can move. And this one. I think I'll go up here and see if there's anything else. There is a tiny little land bridge here. Okay. And there's nothing we can build here, I guess. Yeah, okay. One more end turn. And I think we get our unit now. Yeah, here it is. So our slinger showed up. Let's look at Linford. Yeah, now they're working. 1, 2, 3, 4. Much better. Now it's 13 turns to grow because we're able to take advantage of that. Okay, I'm doing manufacturing, well, production right now. Once we get one more population, we should see this expand out. That's going to be fine. We'll keep this one unit here in town. And we can select it here. Company 167. I'm going to tell them, sentry, stay here until an enemy shows up. I don't want to have them move around, right? Then we'll move down here. And here we have neutral monsters again. It's pretty strong. Mercenary camp. I can't take on any of these, even if I were to cast a spell. I don't think we looked at that very much, but here, my caster, he could potentially cast a spell instead. A ritual. The fanatic. This fanatic over here. 12 hit points. Nothing really spectacular. He has really no armor. 5 out of 5. A little bit, I guess. Holy water vial. That would be holy damage. Area of effects. It's not very, very good at all. We're going to let him do research. Anyway. You can move down there. And we'll move down there. Yeah, that's a land bridge here. Okay. And there is another neutral monster. And there's one over here too. The ballistas, heavy spearman, and slinger. Okay, well, where am I at on time? I am over my limit here, I think. But this is the beginnings of the game. No combat yet. We'll see if we can do that next turn, guys. Come back then. We'll play more of Wizards of Warfare 2. Bye for now.